This video, I want to share 4 of the biggest mistakes that are keeping you skinny fat and preventing you from getting toned. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jodie and I help you change your beliefs so you can change your body, your health, and your life. I was thinking about this earlier because I was skinny fat for years. Like majority of my 20s, I was skinny fat and super insecure and unhappy with my body. I wanted to get toned. I was trying all the things and nothing was working out. I wish I had have had this video back then and took on this advice, because it would have saved me years of kind of just being so unhappy in my body, and that transferred to the rest of my life. Because really, if you're not happy inside, then that's going to impact every other aspect of your life. Now, I also know a lot of you need to hear this because of the types of questions I get, the messages I get, and a lot of my clients start out in that skinny fat situation, and you all have the same mindset to start out with. And this was my biggest problem as well. That's the first mistake that you are making, is not trying, or not trying doesn't exist, but not paying attention to changing your mindset. That is so key for all of this, because if you don't change your mindset about how fat loss works, about what toned actually means, about the scale, about food, about working out, you're not going to get results that you can actually keep. And you might not really even get results because you're not going to stick it out long enough to actually make it, because as soon as the scale goes up a little bit, you're going to go back to eating less food. Or as soon as you start eating more and then you get bloated one day, you'll go back to eating less. Or as soon as something seems like it's not working, you'll go back to adding more cardio in when you don't really need that. Like, that is why you have to change your mindset and really start to understand what it means to be toned, where you are at in your specific situation. So if you are skinny fat and you want to get toned, you don't need to lose weight, you don't need calorie deficits, you don't need cardio, you don't need all those typical things that you think you need. You have to let go of what you think should happen and how you think the process should look like. You have to let go of what you think your body weight should be and what the numbers mean, because weight gain doesn't necessarily mean fat gain. And if you don't change your perception around that, then you will be forever held back by that number on the scale. Actually, one of the questions I just got asked was, will eating 1600 calories for 3 months help me get toned? And the answer is no, it won't, because you have to understand that getting toned requires you to build muscle, and building muscle is probably going to require more food than 1600 calories. I can't answer that right now because I can't see your stats and how you're training and the volume and your steps and like all of it. I need the bigger picture to know what your food intake needs to be for you to get toned, but very likely 1600 calories is not going to be enough. And let's just say it is for 3 months, you're probably still not going to be toned after 3 months, because it's simply not enough time. Muscle building takes time. Fat loss also takes time, but in order to lose body fat, you also need to be in a position to do so. And if you are starting out skinny fat, then your goal shouldn't be to lose fat. It should be to build muscle. But you are lucky in the fact that you can lose body fat whilst you're building muscle. And so this is what I mean. You really need to understand the process, understand where you're starting from, and start to see things a bit differently in terms of what you actually need to do to get to where you want to go. Now, the second biggest thing keeping you from getting toned is that you're not lifting properly. And I was doing this for years, so I get how you might think that just having a program, I didn't even have a program, so that was a big problem, but even just having a program and going to the gym and going through the motions, performing the reps in that program, you think that's enough, but there is so much more you have to learn. If I had have just hired a trainer back then when I was going to Melbourne University Gym during university days, I was around 21 or 22 at the time. That was when I actually first stepped foot into gym. If I had have just hired a trainer, I would have saved myself my whole 20s pretty much trying to figure things out and not really getting anywhere. And part of it was because, one, I wasn't following a program, but even if I had have been, I wasn't lifting properly. My form was terrible. I didn't understand tempo. I didn't understand the importance of rest periods. I didn't understand the importance of learning about intensity and how much you can really push yourself, which is part of the process. And if you're not paying attention to that, if you don't really understand that, then you are definitely missing out on progress. It really, I look back on it now and I'm like, why would I think I know what I'm doing in a gym when we're not taught how to lift in school? Well, not in Australia anyway, right? So it's like riding a bike. We don't just suddenly know how to ride a bike. We get taught from our parents. It's like driving a car. We get lessons. Going to the gym and performing squats, performing deadlifts, performing even simple exercises like bicep curls. There's a process to it. There's good form and then there's not so good form. There is using momentum to get the weights up versus using your actual muscles to lift the weights up. There is progressive overload, which you need to understand. So there's just so much to it. And if you skip all of the tiny details, you will forever be going to the gym, winging your workouts, putting in the effort, but not really getting any result from it. That's when you might start saying, oh, it doesn't work for me. It's not, it doesn't work for you, it works. It's just that you're not doing things properly and you don't know what you don't know. So it's okay if you don't know how to lift, or if you're going to the gym thinking you know how to lift, but if you're not getting results, then you're definitely missing something. So there is something that you don't know and you have to figure out what that is. So when it comes to training, you don't just need a program, you need to learn how to execute it properly. Now, the third biggest thing keeping you from getting toned is that you need to change your identity. You need to become that person that goes to the gym and it's part of your life. And this has to be with you forever. Like, I know that's not fun to hear, but especially if you don't like training at the moment, but you need to learn to integrate it into your life in some way and keep it as part of your life. Like, it's part of who you are now. You are that person that goes to the gym and lifts weights a few days a week. And it doesn't have to be that way forever in terms of how much work and time and effort you're putting into it. Like, it gets easier as you go because you learn more and more and it becomes more natural. At the start, when it's not really who you are, when you're stepping into that identity, it is going to be harder. It is going to take more time. It's not going to feel easy, but that's kind of how you know you're actually doing it properly. But you have to wake up every day and be like, okay, I'm showing up as this person now. I am that person that is toned and has the body that I desire. I don't look in the mirror and pick my body apart, because that person that has that I'm stepping into, they wouldn't do that, right? They wouldn't waste their time and energy doing that. You have to start becoming that person first, because otherwise you're simply not going to be consistent enough. You're not going to stay the course long enough to actually make it and do the things you need to do for long enough to get the results that you want. And then to be able to keep those results, you have to be that person. So you have to start learning how to be that person now. So in my case, I was going to the gym pretty consistent for a while, and then I'd kind of fall off and like not bother going, and then I'd start again, and then I'd go on holidays and not really worry about keeping up with anything. And then I was always kind of stopping and starting. I wasn't just staying consistent because it wasn't part of who I am. Not back then anyway, but I wasn't making any progress. So it kind of all ties into each other, right? So many of you want the progress first to keep you motivated to keep going, but really it happens the other way. You have to take the action first. You have to step into that identity first to then make progress. And then that kind of keeps you going because you already are that person, not because you're making progress. Now, the fourth biggest mistake keeping you from getting toned is not having a way to trust the process. This is so important. You have to let go of the outcome and you have to be able to trust the process in order to stay the course long enough to actually get where you want to go. And there will be times where it looks like it's not happening and you will want to revert back to old habits. You will want to go back to not eating anything because you think you have to lose fat, or you're getting fat, or you'll just fall off altogether because you're attached to that outcome. You're not seeing it happening. So then you lose motivation and you just don't bother. This is when you have to stay the course. You have to stick to the plan anyway and trust that it is actually happening. And the way that I have learned to do that has been to, first of all, educate myself on the process. Like, I really know the process. I trust the process because I see the science behind it. Like, I understand how it works scientifically. So that helps me. But even when I didn't completely understand it, because I had never been through the body recomposition process yet, what helped me is putting that trust in a coach. And I talk about this all the time. Like, I haven't got here myself. I have had coaches helping me get here. Even though I know what I'm doing now, like I've done it for years and I've helped so many clients do it, I still have a coach because I'm still human and I go through those waves of low motivation. I know I'm way more disciplined when I do have someone that is as invested in me as I am investing in them. And at the end of the day, I find it more fun now as well. So it helps me enjoy the process more, going through it with someone else kind of watching over me. Anyway, so trusting the process is key. Having a coach for me was like vital in learning how to do that, because when it didn't seem like things were happening at the rate I thought they should be or in the way I thought they should be, I would just reach out to the coach and they would tell me, no, just keep going. This is normal. All you need to do is stick this out. And that happens now with so many of my clients as well. All the time they message me, Jodie, this is happening. I'm not motivated. Like, I feel really bad. Like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And I'm just like, I ask them questions about their stats, how their training's going, what their hunger is like, all these like biofeedback questions. And then I get the picture in my head. I'm like, you're good. You're making progress. You can't always see it. That's normal. Just keep going. And then they do. And then they're pleasantly surprised with the outcome at the end. But it took them as well, trusting me, letting go of that outcome, trusting the process through me, and just sticking it out, staying the course. If you do want help with any of this, I know a lot of you have asked me for a workout program, which I refuse to sell just a program because I don't think it's going to help you. You need to have all of this behind you as well. You need to understand the mindset stuff. You need to know how to step into that new identity. You need to know how to execute a program properly. And I care about you getting results, right? Like, I don't want you to just have the program if it's not actually going to help you get results. Now, I know also one-to-one coaching isn't for all of you. So what I've done is I have created a new program. It is a group coaching program, so a shorter container, only 6 weeks long, and it does cover everything you need to know to actually transform not just your body, but it covers the mindset and energetic principles that you need to know to actually change your life and to upgrade all aspects of your life that you want to level up in. It comes with a workout program and a nutrition protocol for body recomposition, which is perfect if you are skinny fat. We do start next week because this will likely be the only live intake where I actually come in and coach you once a week and answer all your questions, make sure you are getting it and making progress. So if you're interested, I put the link to that in the description box. Check it out. Don't miss out though if you are interested and you do want that live aspect. I probably will have it as kind of a standalone course program to go through in your own time in the future, but not sure if I'll do the live intake again. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or send an email. If you liked it, please like it. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. And if that's the case, I will see you in the next video.